What's up, chat? How y'all doing? What's up, Unknown Hero? What's up, Buzz? What's up, Boney? What's up, Just Some Goku Enjoyer? How y'all doing? I'm just chilling. Just chilling. Thought it was time to stream. Streaming easy. Now, usually I just play some lo-fi shit, you know, just lasts an hour. This is my mix, though. This is my YouTube mix. This is what they suggest to me, so maybe it'd have a little more personality than usual. Maybe if more people join, put a poll, maybe do face cam. But how are y'all doing? How's everybody in the chat? How is everybody? Yeah, all my music kind of is the same vibe. This is what I listen to and I just like work out. Or if I'm just chillin'. What's my fave video I ever made? I think, honestly, my videos just get better. I think they just get better. Wind Waker, Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess. Good to hear Boney. Good to hear General Shepherd. Yeah, I haven't beaten Wind Waker, but I really like Twilight Princess. I've tried Wind Waker, it's just not for me. I guess I'm just edgy, I guess. I don't know. I like the more darker, epic type vibe for Zelda. Appreciate that, bro. So there are these like crazy DC magazines that were made in the UK, and they each have a statue. Really, you get the statue, but I don't give a fuck about the statue because each of the magazines are just like over 10 pages of lore about the random character. Like if you get a Raven statue, you get just basically a guidebook all about that character. So I've been racking my brain on ways to acquire these, and I bought 3 of them off eBay, but they're just not cheap. But what I ended up doing is I have a buddy in the UK, and they're a lot cheaper. They're like $1 there, but I paid like 30 bucks to get 3 of them here. And so there might be some spicy new statements. Of course, I bought the Nightwing magazine. Of course, of course. So if there's anything juicy in there, I might make that known. If Nightwing is in multiverses, then I will main for sure. I have not heard that though. I've not heard that report. I think the thumbnail for this video is pretty top tier Nightwing aura. From Batman RIP. It's pretty baller. I think recently with the failsafe stuff when Nightwing pulled up, that's pretty top tier. Yeah, that's interesting for Roger. I don't think he's done a voice like that before, but yeah, it sounds good. I was into multiverses when it first dropped, and then I kind of fell off, but maybe I'll get back into it. I liked having a game to just vibe with. Just plug in and chill. What does the chat want to hear me discuss? The fate of the stream is in your hands. What do you overall scale Batman? That's a very complex question. I would probably need a little dono for that. Versus questions and scaling stuff, I need donos. I guess that was kind of a dick move asking where do y'all want the chat to go, and then y'all just ask who would win type shit. And then me asking for donos, but that is my job. Why Iron Man's plans keep failing? I mean, Iron Man is just a can't catch a break. He's just one of those characters. Who's a better Robin, Jason or Jarro? Definitely Jarro. Jason is the worst Robin. According to Zdarsky, Jason, I mean, if you were to ask him, he's probably said he is redeemed. He did a lot of the heavy lifting in the final, quote-unquote, final for now, because failsafe is, you know, Jay chillin'.
That's crazy, man. Batman, like,
Had a villain of an arc, and as soon as he, like, beats it, Amanda Waller just shows up and just Thanos Time Stone reverses it. My favorite food is probably basic bitch ass answer, either chicken or pizza, probably. But yeah, has anyone here read Absolute Power? I think Cyborg Cyborg's like the QB of the Titans. I think he is kind of a leader, but just at a different level. I think maybe in like, maybe you could have it where like Dick's the macro leader, but Cyborg can like still kind of call shots like mid-combat. But Nightwing can handle it. Nightwing is a juggler. I'm the main character. I'm the protag. This is my arc. For sure. Also, did anybody see the new Boys? What the fuck are they doing to my man Huey, bruh? And I'm not talking about the, like, Tech Night shit, like the noon episode. What the hell, man? If enough of y'all have seen it, I'll just talk about it, but... they're fucking this dude over, man. I'm excited to know the current writer for Spider-Man is quitting. Whether he's... I mean, he is quitting, we do know that, but that book is just cursed, man. That book is cursed. There is, it's just got such a stranglehold, editorially speaking, that it does not seem any other book suffers from that, man. Batman does not seem that strong-armed. Detective Comics, Superman. We keep getting good shit from so many other titles, but Spider-Man just it just can't help but fumble. In the main continuity, who trains the Justice League? Do they train themselves, or someone like Bruce or Wonder Woman train them? Currently, there is no Justice League, but they train themselves and they train amongst themselves. I don't think they have like a leader. What's your name? Kumo? Shit was not biased, bruh. Pull up. People will say, they're saying in the comments, they're like, oh, you use the weakest shit for the villains. It's like, dog, if you think Doc Ock prepping out the Sinister Six to beat the Avengers, or Superior Spider-Man like soloing most of Marvel, if you think that, on top of like Mysterio mind-haxing Mr. Fantastic, if you think that is them at their weakest, or that's me being biased towards Batman, then you're smoking crack. Yeah, I'm caught up on Batman, sure are. I read that shit. The summaries and reviews I got from most of Chip's run on Batman, however, what I want to know is how the heck Amanda Waller managed to lock down the timeline and multiverse from them. Yeah, that is pretty impressive. I mean, I don't know what supervillain she could have gotten. When you versus battles, you use them at their peaks, not at their inconsistent feats. What does that mean? I did not downplay them. Absolutely not. I did not. I just described how I did not downplay them. You're tripping, bruh. What is... Why would you use them at their peaks? What does that even mean? I use them at what they're consistently at. I take all the data and I say, okay, they're capable of this, but they're weak to this. Batman has the tech to exercise on all their weaknesses. That's just a matter of fact, bruh. They say Batman's struggling against his villains with all that tech, like, bro, he won't use a Superman level device on Riddler. Yeah, exactly. I did not use Batman at his peak. That's definitely cap. I didn't talk about his super suits. I didn't even really go in on, like, he's actually just going to use magic mid-combat. I didn't bring up his, like, Phantom Zone projector. I definitely did not use Peak Batman. I didn't bring up Zurin R, his, like, super, like, hyper paranoid form. Yeah, listen, Batman would shit on most of them, like, pretty low diff. I'm sorry. I thought Batman was banned. He used magic against a group of Supermen. Like evil, like Ultraman, Justice Lord Superman. He used magic against them. Batman is a lot stronger than Cap. Just using canon, Batman's a lot stronger than Cap. I have a video on it. Nightwing does know the weaknesses to a lot of Bat family members. I don't think he needs prep to beat most of them, to be honest. So Batman would easily defeat the Lizard easier than Killer Croc. Yeah. Killer Croc's not even that big a deal to Batman. Damian was like putting in the work against Killer Croc recently, dog. Bro, Bane in the newest issue kicked the jaw off of a T-Rex. And Batman can beat Bane while Bane's like on like hyper venom and shit. Batman did not just fall from the sky. He fell from orbit, bro. He was like outside of the Earth and fell. And just like landed on his fucking feet and was chill. Do you think Joker's laughing gas can affect Spider-Man's villains? Yeah, man. Like, a lot of them have not shown resistances to that shit. Like, again, Scarecrow shit can affect fucking Shazam and Swamp Thing. That's fucking up every single Spider-Man villain. I'm sorry. See, and here's the thing, bro. Spider-Man is a character that in a versus match sense, he does not have all this crazy tech. He does not have contingencies for people. He just doesn't. So when he pulls up to fight, like, let's say the Lizard, right? His best bet is just punching him. Or like webbing him up, right? And every time we see that Spider-Man like uses prep, it's not some crazy cracked device that Batman's been training for decades. You know, and like honing. He just leads him into a freezer. Batman is mega prepped. I'm sorry, dog. That's just the way it is. Like, if Spider-Man had a freeze grenade that can keep up with, like, or, you know, counter, like, Starfire, Fire Blast, then he'd also one-shot the Lizard, too. Spider-Man's tech is waxed and waned, but he just doesn't use, like... He just pretty much punches and webs people up. I'm a Spider-Man and Batman fan, bro. I got Spider-Man shit all around my room. I got a fuck ton of Spider-Man comics. I love the movies. Pull up one issue where he's used freezing web on the Lizard. don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Name an issue. Where does he have freezing web? What are you talking about, bro? Mislabo, $5. How would you scale multiverses? Just curious, because a lot of characters in the game seem to either hate or envy Shaggy's hidden power. Multiverses scaling is pretty funny. There's that like website shit where they're like, yeah, Batman could not prep. There's nothing Batman could do to prep for Bugs Bunny. And then Joker just like infects him or like beats him or whatever, like makes him sick from gas or some shit. Farts in his face maybe. But yeah. It's weird. Like Multiverse's Joker might just be, you know, just not holding back anymore. Because it seems to be the case currently that Joker could just kill Batman at any point. Like, Joker is homicidal while also, like, keeping Batman around. Whereas Batman is, like, holding, like, he's, you know, obviously not going to kill anybody. But he still, like, is trying to stop the Joker. Yeah, Spider-Man can prep. Spider-Man has good prep feats. But that doesn't mean shit for the Sinister Six. Like, Dan Slott, the motherfucker who loves Otto Octavius more than anything, was like, yeah, Otto cannot prep for Hyperion. And Hyperion is just worse Superman. I genuinely cannot think of, like, a single fucking comic where Spider-Man has ever used fucking Ice Web. Thank you for the $5, by the way. Seth, Clyde is the one who made all the accusations, and Clyde is completely forgiven Seth. And they work together, they stream together, they write videos together. Noodles came out against Seth when the allegations happened. Noodles is chill with Seth. And these are the people who are most affected by him. Seth never did shit to me. And so I don't think that I'm like... I think it would be weird of me to be like, why would I hold something against a person if the people he hurt the most have forgiven him? That doesn't make sense to me. That's the last I'll say about that. The problem with that is Batman has the entire history with him, so even if it was New 52 or post-crisis, he knows he can do it. I don't know what you're referring to. What's up, Joseph? We're just talking about my newest video. Spider-Man ice webbing Human Torch doesn't, again, it doesn't mean shit for his villains. The video is not who has better prep, Spider-Man or Batman, although it's pretty fucking obvious. Like, Otto did not even use type of shit like that when he was, like, running a gauntlet through people. It's not even really a prep video. It's not even, like, can Batman with prep? It's just, does Batman have the equipment to beat the Sinister Six? And is he intelligent enough? Is he fast enough? Like, yes. And again, another point I make is Spider-Man could just beat his whole rogues gallery at the same time. Again, that's not the point of the video, but that is the case. Who do you think would fit as the second Red X for the comics? Like, we might never know. I don't know. It's weird because the comic version they just kind of lump in the cartoon, like that's just now canon now. Like at least those episodes, like at some point in the like 80s, I guess if you were to, it's like the new Teen Titans Marvel Wolfman era. At some point in that, Dick wanted to figure out what Deathstroke was cooking, so he became Red X. And then he like fought the Teen Titans like undercover, and then someone stole the tech, right? That's all we really know for the main continuity, so really even less than we have to go off for the cartoon, and we know it's not any of the Robins, so I really don't know. I don't think it's Azrael, because Azrael like currently exists. Like Azrael has his own identity. Yeah, it's really weird. I don't even know who could have been around. The only way it could kind of work is if somebody took the suit, like, you know, years and years later, like, well, Dick was Nightwing, compared to the cartoon, which is like Dick became Red X, and then while Dick was still Robin, somebody stole the suit. Because then you have a few options. You have like Deathwing. There are two Deathwings. There's one from the 90s, which is like an alternate future Dick Grayson like copycat. And then you have like the one from Rebirth, which is a like Professor Pig Nightwing like copy clone thing. Just some guy that Professor Pig like gaslit into believing he was like an evil Nightwing. There's also this really weird addition to the Teen Titans right before the New 52, where Earth 3 Robin, who must have been Dick Grayson, called Talon, was on the team. He was just a member of the Teen Titans, and he was like fucking around with the character called the Joker's daughter. Not literally the Joker's daughter, but she's also just crazy. She, funnily enough, also gaslit herself into thinking she was Joker's daughter. But he was like in a couple pages, you know, a couple scenes, and then never saw him again. So there's who I think Red X is actually. He's Earth 3, Dick Grayson. All these years later, same color scheme too. Talon was wearing black and red. That's what I'd go with, because I want to see that weird character again. They like never got a chance to really like characterize him. Because Earth 3 Dick Grayson should be like a bigger villain than Owlman, you know? But for some reason he's on the Teen Titans, so I don't know how that works. Because Nightwing is supposed to be like a better hero than Batman. And like nicer, cares more about people. So really, Earth 3 Dick Grayson should be a monster. What are your thoughts on Spider-Man handling Gotham and all of Batman's villains? Not physicality-wise, like how could he deal with the fear toxin or venom goons or poison ivy gas? I'd have to think about that more so, like scenario-wise, if you put Spider-Man in like death in the family. I think Batman villains, though, are smart enough that they could fuck up Spider-Man's life pretty drastically. Like Joker, Batman is like so fucking smart, right? That he can put all these plans together for the Justice League multiple times over. He has contingencies and then redundancies for those contingencies, and then makes new contingencies after applying the first set, right? Like Flash recently had to fight Green Arrow, and Green Arrow was in the Batman Endgame Justice Buster. And while he's like, yeah, this can't be actually Batman, because he would never do this shit again. Like, he would never try the Justice Buster again. So Batman puts all this R&D into these crazy suits, right? And then just mothballs it for the next thing. That's how, like, crazy far ahead he is. And Joker is, like, so unpredictable to Batman. Like, even combatively, strategy-wise, Joker is like such an oddball character for Batman that he can't predict what he's gonna do. Like Batman Who Laughs pulls up and is just a step ahead of Batman every fucking turn. Like, Batman cannot get into the Batman Who Laughs head. And so he's like, well, I need Joker. And Joker's enough to turn the table because Joker is just so unpredictable. So I think, like, compared to Spider-Man, Joker could just pull up and just shoot any one of Spider-Man's, like, human allies. And he'd be fucked, to be honest. Like, mentally. He'd lose the scenario, right? And plus, like, Joker obviously wants Batman to kill him to some extent, right? Joker's so fucked up, man. Joker's a cracked villain, to be honest. Joker wins if he gets killed by Spider-Man. He's just one of those characters. He just wins. They say some shit in the new run, bro, that the only reason anyone on Earth is alive is because Batman or the Joker have not decided to kill them yet. Joker and Batman, if they wanted to, could just kill anybody on the fucking planet. That's what they say in the new run. In the DC universe. Because Joker's one of those characters that's like, the way they write him, he just doesn't take L's, really. Because it's a big game to him. Anytime he loses the Batman, it's just playing into his own hand. He's like, this is exactly what I want. Like, the game keeps going. You know, like Under the Red Hood is a good example in the comics and in the movie too. Like, I think it's hard to say. I think obviously NA55, that's like a cop-out kind of a thing. It's like, oh, Joker just wouldn't be interested. I think Joker would be, I think he would be interested in Spider-Man. If Batman didn't exist, if like Spider-Man was the only superhero in the world and Joker was the only supervillain, obviously Joker would be like, he'd get a fixation. How would Batman do against the Ultimate Universe version of Spider-Man's rogues? They're all just shittier than 616. Like, lamer and weaker and shit. Like, Venom, when he's with Eddie Brock, gets, like, taken out by, like, a live wire from a power line. When he's fused with Peter, he gets hit by, like, Thor and shit. But Eddie Brock Venom is not that impressive. How do you think Joker would feel meeting Red Mask? He kind of did. Yeah, I mean, we saw him meet him. He's just like, you're a fucking joke. Like, Jack White, though. Let me think. If Joker met a happy version of himself, he'd probably just pity him. He's like, oh, you poor thing. Like, you have no idea what you're missing out on. Like your Batman is so disappointing. He never. He you know, it's so sad that you missed out on Bruce Wayne. Holy shit. Oh my god. What in the hell? Lock 899. What the hell, man? Holy shit, dude. You are a goat. Oh my god. $100, bro. How high do you scale Batman? Holy shit. I'm gonna have to fucking go crazy on this answer, bro. Holy shit. Damn, man. Thank you, bro. Holy shit. I don't know what to say, man. That's a goat. Oh my god. Where have you been? Okay. I'm gonna lock in. I'm gonna lock in for this dude. He locked in. So, obviously, I would start with my videos, right? I cover the range of, like, here's what he's able to accomplish with prep. And even the prep thing, right? The conversation gets very annoying because Batman, they're like, I definitely did not prepare for this. The Batman prep conversation is like, okay, can he fight Omni-Man with prep? How much prep does he need? It's like, well, he's already prepped for a fucking 100 years of stories. Like, he's already been in the lab cooking shit up this whole time. So he doesn't need, like, new prep. Like, he's been there and done that. So with his preparation, obviously he can achieve things that physically he does not necessarily scale to. In that avenue, though, I would say that his best feats in that regard are scaling to Joker. I know I kind of said earlier that, like, Joker is, like, very unpredictable to Batman, but he still has able to pull out legitimate victories against the Joker. And even what I said earlier about, like, the new run, where it's like he's, you know, the smartest man on the planet, quote unquote, is like, you know, Joker and Batman are they're the two smartest, craziest beings on Earth, like, mentally. Which is really crazy, because that guy, like, would obviously know about what's, you know, Superman's out there. He'd obviously know about, like, Green Lantern, all these crazy, super-powered beings that have insane, you know, feats of fighting, like cosmic entities. And Joker directly was able to trick Mr. Mixie, who's a fifth-dimensional being who constantly presses Superman intellectually, because Superman has to try to trick him into saying his own name backwards to send him back to his home dimension. And so they're constantly mentally sparring, Batman and Mixie. And Mixie was, you know, tricked by Joker. Joker is just so unpredictable, and Batman is, like, his rival. And, like, Mixie can, like, if Mixie just tossed a hissy fit, he would just erase everything. And in fact, there is a comic where him and Batmite, who is another fifth-dimensional entity, you know, just they did destroy everything. They went throughout the multiverse and, like, killed everybody, and then rebooted it, you know, recreated it. So with prep, it's fucking insane. It's insane the shit he can do. Physically, though, in terms of, like, his base bat suit, there's a good feat where I think it's Atomic Skull. There's a few characters that there's, like, Dr. Phosphorus looks similar, but I think it is Atomic Skull. He just sets off like a nuke, like he just explodes, you know, himself. Like he just does that, just blows up. And we see it's this massive, like, multiple buildings are engulfed in this crazy explosion. And I got that calced. Let me dig up the calculation for that. And I can tell you where I'm cooking with that. And this isn't even, like, his highest end, because he pretty much just tanks it. And he's, like, looking right at Atomic Skull when the explosion goes off. Just point blank in his face. So that was calced to town level. So Batman just pure. His like chin is exposed, looking right at this guy. Crazy, massive explosion. That's from Batman Superman Volume 2, number 9 from 2020. He just explodes right in Batman's face, and Batman tanks it, and is like fighting people for the rest of the issue. And you know, that's not even counting like Zur-En-Arrh makes Batman stronger. So that to me is like, that's a safe place to scale him physically. Falling from orbit is like crazy impressive, obviously, and is like superhuman level. But once you reach terminal velocity, it kind of just caps at like that small building tier. Because obviously, like, terminal velocity, you fall. You can only fall so fast within gravity. It's not like you can fall. If you fell for an hour in Earth's orbit, hypothetically, if the stratosphere was that tall, right, that high up, you wouldn't hit, like, massively hypersonic over time, you know, terminal velocity. You know, you guys know what the hell that is. But, you know, that he's obviously within that tier, and that to me is like a comfortable, because there's other like crazy explosions that he just tanks point blank. And again, his like armor and like chin is exposed. Even in post-crisis, there's crazy feats where he's just like on a bridge and a detonator blows up right in his face and the whole bridge explodes, and Batman's just chilling. And you know, his armor, his body, he gets physically stronger. He keeps like tinkering with his suit to make it, you know, better and better. Even in like 2003, you know, him and Cap were boxing each other up, and that's like a canon fight they have. So really, like, Batman just scales physically to Captain America. So you just have all those crazy feats of like, you know, peak super soldier, whatever tier characters, and Batman is just equal to that. And he's gotten so much stronger than then, it's crazy. You can watch my Batman versus Captain America video. He's like tens and thousands, not thousands. Okay, I'm tripping. Tens and tens of times stronger than he was when he fought Captain America. So that's where I'd place him physically. And then if you mean like speed-wise, it is pretty cracked. Because people will point to like, okay, Batman's been shot before, right? But Batman obviously dodges bullets more times than not, right? And you kind of have to just go with what is most consistent. And so he dodges all these bullets. He dodges like lightning, like black lightning and live wire and all this shit. He's fought a Mazo who shoots like Superman level laser beams, and him and Nightwing can just dodge those. So he's obviously faster than the speed of light. He dodges Dr. Light's attacks. You just have characters in DC that are just called Dr. fucking Light, and their whole shtick is absorbing and redirecting light. You have Nightwing, Tim Drake, Batman all dodging, you know, that shit, keeping up with it. Green Lantern also shoots light. Like, you know, he should be massively faster than light with his attack speeds because he's just flying across the whole universe, blasting energy beams at people that also travel across the whole universe and can keep up with him. Deathstroke can, like, fight the whole Justice League, like, kind of, you know, B and C tier members, but still, he's, like, keeping up with Kyle Rayner. Wally West. Deathstroke keeps up with Wally West both when he's you know, Kid Flash and the Flash, and Batman is like, you know, a rival for Deathstroke. By this point, he's pretty much just eclipsed Deathstroke, you know, speed-wise, physically. So it's like easily MFTL, and then you get into crazy shit where it's like Reverse Flash pulls up, and I don't give a fuck. Listen, dog, let's be dead ass here. Reverse Flash toying with somebody. That motherfucker's still immeasurable speed. I'm sorry, brother. That motherfucker, still immeasurable speed. He's like kicking the shit out of Barry Allen on occasion. He pulls up, and Batman is able to put a batarang in his foot, and fucking he starts pummeling him. He starts pummeling, dog. Just beating the fuck out of Reverse Flash. A Flash villain. Batman also says, he's like, yeah, I can always tell when Flash is about to be here because I can feel the static electricity, like, on my suit. Like, he can physically sense when a speedster is about to pull up on him. That's cracked, man. That's actually cracked. So Batman has a plethora of those kind of crazy feats. Yeah, Catwoman also fought and, like, beat a couple of Flashes. It's crazy, man. You just have like Deathstroke, Catwoman, Batman, Nightwing, like consistently scale into these motherfuckers. Nightwing can fight a dude with the whole powers of the entire Justice League, like Superman, Green Lantern, Aquaman, Flash, and Dick Grayson is like dodging, you know, keeping up with that. I don't think he ever gets tagged by that dude, by Paragon. But yeah, it's not lazy, it's not overhyped, it's just consistent. Like, I could go on for an hour about Batman doing all this crazy shit. No, it's you're just wanking him. Like, dog, I'm sorry, bro. If you apply that same logic to every fucking character, then they're all ass tier. Like, you can do the same thing with Spider-Man, Superman, all that shit. So you can either downplay all of fiction, or you can just do with what's consistent and get over it. That's just the way it is, you know. It can be idiotic by your subjective opinion, but it's still a canon feat that happened, and you have to live with that. I really don't know. I want to go on for $100. Holy shit. And then, like, martial arts wise, he can just fight Karate Kid. You know, Karate Kid, when they first fight, he's like, damn, Batman, like, I have experience. Like, their arena is in, like, zero gravity, right? And Karate Kid is like, I have experience fighting in zero G and you don't. And Batman is still, like, keeping up with them. And Karate Kid's like, yeah, you know what? You could actually teach me a lot, Batman. And Karate Kid is like, mastered everything in the fucking, you know, 31st century, all martial arts from, like, a galactic sense. Like, the interplanetary alignments or, you know, the government and everything. All these different civilizations are working. We know Karate Kid has alien martial arts. And Batman with, like, less experience can just fucking outskill him. And he fights him multiple times over. There actually is a canon statement that calls Batman a metahuman as well. I think Amanda Waller just deems him a metahuman. But yeah, so martial arts wise, it's like crazy shit like that. He also spars with Wonder Woman pretty consistently. There is actual DC lore. It's in the Wonder Woman Essential Encyclopedia that says that with enough training, you can get, like, Amazonian level strength. And he like consistently, like, over the decades is sparring with Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman can, like, kind of shit on Ares, like, especially recently. So Ares has, like, mastered all martial arts and fighting stratagems across all of time since he exists in the God Sphere, which is beyond time, like traditional time, obviously, like hyper time withstanding. But yeah, if Batman scales to, like, 1% of that, that's fucking cracked, right? Like, 1% of all martial arts across all of time, you know, from the perception of, like, a beyond time level dimension, right? So yeah, and then, I mean, just technology-wise, I've gone into that on in other videos, but he's got, like, Phantom Zone projectors. The Phantom Zone is like a boundless prison dimension. If you get hit with that, by most characters are just, they're stuck there, man. They're fucked. He's got super suits that can allow him to, like, redirect energy from, like, Superman level characters even. The Hellbat lets him fight Darkseid. The final Bat suit can, like, reprogram the DNA of the entire Justice League. You know, I could go on and on and on. Batman has leg pressed like a train car before, dog. Like, you're just not with it. Nightwing's lifted up like a 2-ton giant boulder before, like. But here's the thing, like, I'll say that, but you just go, oh, that's dumb, so I don't count it. It's like, well, then that's just bias, bro. I'm sorry. You know, it's just meat riding, honestly. Like, you go like, oh, he's my second favorite, but there must just be a giant fucking chasm between 1 and 2, and I think I can guess who number 1 is. That's another thing that people say, it's funny, is like, oh, I love X character, but they're actually weak as shit. You know, it's essentially what they're saying. They're like, oh, you know, I love Batman, but, you know, this Bat God stuff's out of hand. And it's like, I don't really think you can parse those two things out, bruh. He's my favorite hero, but I think he should be weaker. Yeah, listen, True Form Darkseid, like, no one really is talking about True Form Darkseid when they talk about fighting Darkseid. I think True Form Darkseid's been in, like, one comic book. Yeah, like... that new vid still has me reeling from the edit of Uncle Ben's Killer. Yeah. If you think he can't beat Spider-Man's villains, then you are wildin'. Yeah. So lock 899, is that sufficient? I can keep going if you want. That's like the single biggest dono I've gotten on stream. Yeah, he did have a Black Lantern ring for a while. He also has Platinum Kryptonite, which could give him Superman's powers. So there you go. That shit is cracked. Daredevil versus Nightwing, that's a dono question. I do have the answer, though. If you want the official answer, the official sanctioned by DC answer, I have it for you. Could Snake clean up Gotham? That's also a dono question. You don't have to put a fucking $100 down, but... Platinum Kryptonite's only appeared once, so it's not inconsistent. All we know about is it gives you Superman level powers. That's literally it. Yeah, they say it specifically for Earth 2, Joseph. But you know, all that shit is canon now, so all that shit is main canon after Death Metal. Is he above Super Soldier? So Super Soldier is just a nebulous tier, right? Like, but if you mean like Captain America, for instance, because that's I'm sure that's like the bar for Super Soldier, then yeah, I think he's stronger than Cap. I have a Cap versus Batman video, but to summarize, Batman and Captain America in 2003 canonically fight in JLA Avengers, and Batman says, "You could beat me, but it would take a very long time," right? So they're just relative. And since then, in my video, I analyze, has Captain America got, how much stronger has Cap gotten since then, right? Since 2003. And then I look at Batman, how much stronger has he gotten, right? Because they were both at a 1, let's say, in 2003. So what are they at, a 2 now, 3, 4? Who's gotten more powerful since then? And it is by far and away Batman compared to Cap. Cap is a lot more of a stagnant character when it comes to training, because they're pretty much like, okay, he's already got the Super Soldier Serum, and he like spars like occasionally, like to, you know, hone his martial arts. But Batman is on some other shit, because Bane with Venom, that's just a 10 times multiplier, and Batman and Bane are constantly surpassing themselves to keep up with each other. And Bane will like fight Batman in base form, right? Then they're relative. Then Bane will use Venom. Batman will have trained himself so much to that point that he can beat Bane while Bane's on Venom. So Batman, just through training and maybe like augmenting his suit to be like more durable or like pack a, you know, greater punch, has gotten 10 times more powerful, 10 times stronger. And they pretty much do that back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to varying degrees until at this point Batman is probably like 50 times stronger than he was in 2003. Grundy is not inconsistent. It's just part of his like actual lore that whenever he resurrects, he's at a different power level. It's not inconsistent. Inconsistent would be like, you know, X character punches the universe, and then in the next 3 issues he gets like knocked out by a shotgun blast. Like Grundy's lore is actually that his power level changes. Krypton had his chance. Those guys were dummies. Those guys were dummies. But yeah. Do you feel good with that answer, Locke? Does that cover it all? A random guy kissed Aisha Speed on the lips. Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck? Yeah, I'll grab that statement for you. I'll tell you where it's from. Maybe I could show it on screen. Let me see. I thought Brainiac was the reason Krypton blew up, or is that just different continuities? There are various explanations for why Krypton blew up. It gets retconned quite frequently. Across the decades, that is. What Marvel characters do you read? Spider-Man and Daredevil, mostly. TBH. So the DC website, it says that his personality and intelligence change when he resurrects. So it's possible that if he's just dumber, he like can't even like use his body as well. That might be a explanation for the fluctuations. And just even just per the fact that like him resurrecting changes shit, you know. Were Kryptonians miraculously like super species, or is Superman just built different? Superman is pretty built different. He's obviously just going to be the strongest Kryptonian. He is just built different. He's just like got like a weird metaversal totemic quality. So yeah. He's like actually a strange, necessary, fundamental entity in the multiverse. Krypton, by comparison, like, obviously it's not necessary. It just explodes, like, pretty much in every universe, so. $5, NA55. How broken and or nerfed would a theoretical Venom symbiote Batman be? Eddie says the Venom symbiote is a multiplier back before its various amps. Yeah, Chad knows more about Grundy than me. So that, you can trust him on that. How broken and or nerfed would a theoretical Venom Batman be? He'd be pretty cracked. Obviously, like, Eddie Brock versus Batman would be a stomp for Batman. And then if, you'd have to imagine that if Bruce received a similar amp, maybe if it drew out his potential, then it would be pretty crazy. It would be a pretty cracked character there, Venom Batman. I think more specifically, hypothetically speaking, if the symbiote was able to, like, properly alter him, because I'm not gonna lie, I think Batman would probably just master the symbiote. I think he would probably just bend that bitch to his will, to be honest. Like, Batman's been, like, tortured for fucking centuries by Emperor Joker with Mixie's powers. And, yeah, so I think he'd have the willpower to just kind of just do an Uno trick on, or a reverse Uno on the symbiote. Red X in, like, actual canon. Well, so there's 2 Red X's. We don't know anything about the second one, which is, like, technically the one from the cartoon. But the third one, who was trained by the second one, has Batman level intellect, according to Amanda Waller. And he fights Peacemaker and Talon at the same time. This is one of those things, man, where, like, what you just said, Sergeant Anthony, it's similar to people being like, yeah, Venom is not as weak to fire as he was. And it's like, that does not matter, bro. Let's say that Venom, because I show a whole spectrum of anti-feats / resistances, right, across the decades. I show a whole spectrum. To say that if I held up a sliver of kryptonite to Superman, right, fits in the palm of my hand, and, you know, he's like, oh, fuck, kryptonite. And then, let's say 10 issues later, I hold up that same sliver, and Superman's like, I've built up a resistance to it that does not affect me anymore. That does not mean that if I held up a fucking bowling ball-sized chunk of kryptonite, that Superman would not fold again, right? The same thing is applicable to Venom. And to say that about Batman's willpower, that's just a vacuous statement. He has a breaking point. He does have a breaking point, but based on feats, it's far beyond what the symbiote could possibly impose on him, impose on his will. That's just a fact. That's just feats, man. And feats are over everything. Thank you again. Another $5. Ben 10 versus Superman. Never thought it was handled well during the 2016 era debates. So I actually have skilled Ben 10 a bit. I think the best feat that Alien X performs is at that universe level. Is at that universe creation / destruction level. And Superman has been universal for decades. And at his most powerful, Superman can one-shot beings that can create hypertime. With that being's bare hands, he created hypertime. and hypertime contains infinite timelines, which contain infinite universes. And that's honestly like a lowball interpretation of hypertime. So Superman, unless he's just, you know, holding back to such a ridiculous degree, I don't think he's really getting hurt. He's also handled reality warpers before, far beyond Alien X. You know, and Superman, Dr. Manhattan has erased Superman completely, and Superman just reconstitutes himself because of the metaverse. And if Ben 10 and Superman were to fight, it would technically be in the DC universe, because Ben 10 is like a DC property technically because of the tie-in comics. So no, I don't think so. Because Superman is like not just his DNA, and we see that like every time he fights a clone or copy himself. The real main Superman is like a cosmic fixture of infinite realities. The main Superman is the bedrock, the sole kind of like necessary factor of every other reality. Every reality spins out from the main Superman, and every variant of him and the DC universe spawns from the normal prime Superman. So Ben could not just downloading his DNA and even putting it through like 10,000 years of intense combat, if he were to go ultimate Kryptonian, would not equal normal Superman. $10 again. Agreed. A lot of people use the 5D force field cutting to scale him to 5D, but there's a lot of reasons why dimensional tiering doesn't actually apply to Benson either. Sorry. He's just universal with time hacks. Sia Kumo, I think it's more entertaining to have somebody like you in chat occasionally. I think it's fun to contest with somebody who disagrees with me a little bit. I think it's more entertaining, so I appreciate you being around. Yeah, I just think even fifth dimensional, there's like hundreds of thousands of dimensions in DC. And yeah, Superman is just him. Superman is literally him. It's crazy. I don't think it's Jason Todd. The Red X reveal came out like so. I think it came out actually before the Under the Red Hood reveal that Jason was Red Hood. So it's just, that's too crazy of a coincidence to be like believed. This doesn't make sense. The animation department and cartoons, I know for a fact within DC historically have been very separate. Even like the DCAU, like the Bruce Timm, unless it was specifically one person, kind of like Dwayne McDuffie was able to leverage his animation career and was able to write some comics. But it's not like, hey, we're doing this, what about this? That never really, that doesn't really happen. That's usually like an agenda from higher up will try to make everything flow together. But yeah, Red X is just not, it's not Jason. He's taller than Dick. Dick is still Robin. So for Jason to be Red X, presumably, right? Because let's say if it is something like Red Hood, if we want to go with that, right? Which a lot of people do. They correlate, they say, well, Red X is just a PG version of Red Hood. then Jason would have to have his whole career as Robin, die, and then be resurrected somehow, take on a new identity, and pester Dick Grayson. All before Dick ever becomes Nightwing. Because Dick in Teen Titans is probably like 18. We know Raven is 18, officially, which is kind of funny. So Robin is probably 18 in that show. And so, like, and he leaves Batman at the start. So Jason would have to have his whole career happen within, like, because doesn't Red X show up in, like, season 2? Like, the person who steals Robin's tech? So Jason's whole career happens in, like, one season of Teen Titans. I find that to be very silly and unlikely. It's not Jason Todd. Red X is not Jason Todd. It's not Jason Todd. No. It was never confirmed that it's Jason Todd. Not by the show, not by the comics. In the main canon comics, he's 100% not Jason Todd, because Red X exists independently of Red Hood. They're two different characters. World's Finest was a fan website. If that's what you're talking about. I like Infamous a lot, so I like Electric Powers. They're cool. Thor's cool, obviously. John Kent with Electric Powers, the Blue Lightning. I think that's a cool power set for him. Red X was just a manifestation of Dick's cutthroatness. You know, manifesting itself as a problem. It's not necessarily paranoia, but it's more of you know, just he wasn't willing to trust his friends for that. He just felt like he had to go too deep, and that had a consequence. That's the point of Red X. It wasn't the mystery was never like a point. Raven even says, she's just like, it doesn't matter who he is, he's just somebody good enough to take the suit and stupid enough to use it. My biggest disappointment for Delta would be my biggest disappointment. I don't know, actually. I think I'm just really optimistic. My expectations are like, I guess you would say they're kind of low, but it's like I expect it to play the same as 3. I expect the story and everything to be the same. I guess really, I can't really be disappointed because the original version is on every platform now. You can get MGS3 on PS5, PC. I have it on PC. I've had it on PS2 and PS3 for all these years, so I can't really be disappointed. But yeah. I don't know. I mean, if they just fucked it up, like, just in a generic sense. Yeah, I'm looking at this bio on World's Finest. This is the fan website, and they don't cite the source for any production crew member stating that it's Jason Todd. There's no like actual confirmation. In fact, this is from the official DC website. DC.com solving for X, a Teen Titans cold case. Here's the truth. If we were supposed to know who Red X was, then the show would have told us. It's well-known lore among fans of the show that Teen Titans was originally planned to run for 4 seasons, hence the apocalyptic storyline arc featuring Raven and Trigon at Season's 4 conclusion, quote, the end. But the show's unexpected popularity allowed renewal for a 5th season, which tellingly launched the story in an entirely new direction. With this Red X's introduction in Season 3, if there ever was an identity reveal planned for the character, then we would have seen it before the planned end of the story in Season 4. The mystery of Red X is what has kept fans talking about him for all these years, and choosing to conceal his identity for all time, if one was ever written for him at all, was one of the smartest things the show's writers ever did. So that's from the official DC website. Yeah, that's not it's not an official answer, and there's no source cited, so I don't have to trust that. There's no proof. But Red X is sick. Red X is a vibe. I wish we got like, because we know that Dick was Red X in the main timeline now, and I wish we got more of that, to be honest. Red X is so sick. $2. Pitch a Doctor Who Flash crossover off the dome. I don't know much about Doctor Who, but off the dome, I don't know, Reverse Flash, like 6 an army of. I know nothing about Doctor Who. I know there are Daleks. Is that a thing? Weeping Angels. Yeah, I guess Reverse Flash would team up with the Doctor Who villain, and Flash and Doctor Who would team up. Doctor Who and Rip Hunter would be a better crossover, I feel. Who shot Mr. Burns? That's funny. What do you think about Spider-Man versus Batman? I'm gonna need a fat donut for that. Fat dono, Bretta. Doctor Who and Young Sheldon? Okay. I can see the vision. Doctor Who? Doctor fucking Who? Maybe, but I can't exactly disprove either. Like, who would get into an interview, ask the big question? We don't know. There's no source for the interview. Anybody can write anything on the internet. We don't know. They don't link to the interview. It's not reported on any other website. It's not on the toy, the figures for the series. It's not in the behind the scenes. It's not in any of the documentaries. It's not even like all. Like, what if I told you? I said I actually did an interview and they said it wasn't Jason Todd. That's my official position of on the Crisis YouTube channel. The show explained how the Omnitrix would transform Ben to prevent his death, and people would choose to claim the Omnitrix would resurrect and rebuild his body post-death for some reason. Yeah, Ben 10 fans are very rabid. They're very rabid. And I think I know the reason why. And it does not take... It shouldn't take us long to think of it, but... yeah. It gets quite kooky and crazy. Quite kooky and crazy out there in Ben 10 land. But yeah, you can obviously kill Ben 10 and the Omnitrix wouldn't be able to do shit about it. Goku versus Batman. I wrote one of those videos and got paid to write it. Yeah, it's just there's too much contradicting statements from staff and like modern day DC. And plus, like, if the show had an identity that was like set in stone or something, or like officially revealed, when the comics were to integrate that, which they did, you'd figure they would attempt to honor that history, but they just didn't. We just still don't know. They honored the history in the actual history that by not revealing who the fuck Red X was. Yeah, this has been a very productive stream. And we got a new channel member. Let's fucking go. Just as soon as I say that, it gets even more productive. What's up, Ted? Goat? If you want to get into the Discord server, you should be able to now, but I've seen some people join, like it seems no problem. And every time someone joins, I'm like, yo, hit me up if you have a problem, like getting in, and I'll make sure it works. But I think it is working. I guess some people just choose not to join. But yeah, it's up to you, bruh. Thank you for joining the channel, though. I appreciate that shish, brother. Yeah, Red X is just... I'm sticking with its Talon. It's Earth 3 Dick Grayson. Who's an even bigger bitch than Owlman. Who's an even more, like, fucked up psychopath. I mean, if we think about... I agree, Ben 10 should be like a Titan or something. That would go hard. But, Earth 3 Dick, right? If we look at how Owlman, Ultraman, Superwoman, how they are opposites of their respective heroes. Owlman, currently, the current version of Owlman, he is a nihilist. They kind of appropriated the Crisis on Two Earths motivation for him. That he's like, oh, nothing matters. Nothing I do matters. Because Owlman started, the current Owlman, he wanted to be a hero. He was kind of on the same trajectory as Batman for a minute. But then, I forget what the revelation was. Let me see if I can find that shit. Let me see. Owlman. DC. Thank you, Ted. Appreciate you, Bria. Yeah, was it just learning his parents were corrupt? Was that what it took for him to be like, oh, nothing matters? Owlman built a power base of underlings, including the Talons. That's not it. The boy proceeded to train, multiple fields coming back with a noble goal of letting this justice of the city be decided in front of the righteous court of owls. However, when the investigation turned up the killer, crooked cop Harvey Bullock, the rest of the story came out. Boss Gordon wanted vengeance on the criminal Waynes after they had killed his son. Okay. So yeah. Ooh, keep talking. Also join. Let's fucking go, bro. Welcome to the Crisis Core, man. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Wilmer, rather. Question, is there any scaling you can use for Reborn Revan to beat Mace? There's one figure statement that says Revan is like one of the most powerful Sith of all time. So there you go. Or it's like him, Darth Kaitis, and Sidious are the most powerful Siths of all time. That's like the one weird little nugget. If you had Batman's cape, what would you do with it? I would be like in the Batman cartoon where it covers his whole body, and I would just glide around like that. Because that shit goes hard. There really shouldn't be any other anything else to do with the cape is just a half measure. But yeah, I mean, an opposite of Dick Grayson, he would just be like no attachments. He'd be fucked up, man. He'd be the black soul of Earth 3 of that DC universe. He wouldn't care for anybody. He'd like see everybody as like pawns instead of people. Yeah, he'd be a real fucking bastard. Which Red X typically is not. But it is interesting to think about. Like, what would an Earth 3 Dick Grayson actually be like? Yeah, Owlman is actually a lot like Prometheus in like the current version of the Crime Syndicate. Prometheus was a really big deal in post-crisis, but yeah, he fell off. You don't want to know how to clean up Gotham, bruh. You don't want to know. I'd be punishing motherfuckers for sure. Fictional versus weapon would you like Batman to use? The fucking Master Sword from Zelda. Let's go with that. Considering your string of options, I would throw in the Master Sword. Is there a Teen Titans version in Earth 3? So, in the comic called Teen Titans Go, which is a spin-off tie-in comic to the original Teen Titans cartoon, there is an evil version of the Teen Titans. I think they're called the Terror Titans. I guess not. The Terror Titans is a different team. Let me see, what are those motherfuckers called? I'm gonna find that shish for you. The Teen Tyrants. They're called the Teen Tyrants. And they consist of Arsenal, Red Raven, Red Robin, Tempest, and Blackfire. Not a Starfire's sister, but her parallel universe counterpart. You think Batman is worthy of a Keyblade? I don't know what a Keyblade. I don't know what the Keyblade is. I know it's from Kingdom Hearts, but I don't know how one would be worthy or unworthy of that. I have no clue. It's Fight Saber Legends. Fight Saber. Is that like an article? Is that like a Star Wars Insider article? I just saw Batman in the Teen Titans show. Yeah, I mean, there was the, very infamously, there was a Batman embargo. Although it turns out it was for other characters as well, but it pretty much forbade multiple copies of the same character appearing simultaneously in different universes in, like, media. Like in movies and games and shit. So, Robin could not be in the Batman cartoon until Teen Titans ended. And Batman could not appear in Teen Titans because there was the Batman running simultaneously. Which, yeah, it is weird. And honestly, they should have just been in the same universe, and then I don't think that would have created a problem. But, what are you gonna do, man? There's not a lot of evil Teen Titans, really. I never understood that embargo. Yeah. Yeah, again, I think the solution in that case was just have them be in the same universe. That would have been so fucking fire, man. Those cartoons are really... They would gel together really well, I feel. I still just headcanon that they're in the same universe. I don't care. The Batman Teen Titans would be sick. I think that shit goes hard. Is sneaking up on Superman an impressive feat? Of course. That motherfucker can hear shit from, like, other galaxies. Benihana. That almost sounds like a D's nuts type thing. Yeah, I mean, is that a restaurant? It looks like. Eat well, I guess. I guess I'm kind of jealous. I just ate. No one really scales to Vitiate in the Old Republic, to be honest. Vitiate's one of those characters that is like, if he loses, it's part of his plan type shit. And he doesn't even really lose at that rate. Surprised to see how powerful Darth Vader is. Vader is the GOAT. Vader's one of... He's on the Mount Rushmore for sure, of just peak fiction. Vader is so fire, bruh. He's on a new level. Yeah, that's true. He's always listening for Bruce's heartbeat. I do just listen to edit music, I'm not gonna lie. I think that shit goes hard. No shame. I'm stuck in an edit. What can I fucking say, bruh? Alright, fuck this song. It's been a crazy stream. Thank you to that absolute legend that donated $100, and thank you to everybody else who's donated, became a member. That's insane. I'm finna start tripping, it's so crazy. Will there ever be a Batman versus Nightwing rematch again? Batman and Nightwing have fought like 3 times in the past like 2 years probably. They fought a lot lately. They fought a crazy amount lately. It's almost like DC's trying to prove a point. It's almost like editorial is trying to enlighten readers as to perhaps a new status quo. Almost perhaps beating them over the head with it. My favorite era is probably either the Clone Wars or post Return. It just has the most content, really. But I like the weird eras as well. I like the weird, like, Marvel comic, you know, Marvel comic era. Just these insane ideas that were never even pitched to Lucasfilm back in the day, and obviously stand as very just weird and non-representative of what Legends became. Yeah, I do a lot of research. Sometimes it's like months. Do you think Bruce will ever retire? No. Would DC have an easier time managing characters if they stopped all their solo books and made more combined stories, so any Batman story would also be where you go for Batgirl? An easier time managing characters. Probably an easier time managing them, but there would just be less. So it would inherently be easier, but I don't think it would be worth the reward. Is the new Trinity in DC Nightwing, Donna, and John? The new Trinity. It probably is Nightwing and John, but the third spot is weird. I think DC had a clear path for a while. It went like Superman, Bruce, Diana. Then it was Dick, Supergirl, and Donna. And then they had waiting in the wing, the next generation, which was Tim, Cassie, and Connor. But the New 52 happened. And Tim and Connor were replaced by weird duplicate characters. Cassie as well, just all of them. Donna was kind of just gone and then removed. Or, you know, replaced by a weird clone character. Not really Donna. And it took too long for everyone to get restored, and then John got aged up, so it's like obviously. And then Damian kind of succeeded Tim in a weird way. It's just, you know, there was a natural trajectory going on there, and it just got, you know, spun on its head. Unfortunately. Adam watched Batman scales above current Batman prep time. I mean, Batman in main continuity has pulled out shark repellent before that feat. Or, you know, whatever that showing, whatever you want to call it. So it's a little weird that he's like, damn, he's got shark repellent. But that is technically what that statement means on the surface level. So you can go with that if you like. Alfred does solo. Alfred is an insane G-Unit level character. And they killed him because of that. Tim should just be Red Robin. That was him at his best. The trajectory, like, post-Crisis was so fucking cool, man. It felt like genuine, organic development all the time. It always felt like you were going somewhere. no matter who you were reading, it always felt like you were going somewhere. And then New 52 took it, and we went so many steps backwards and laterally. Just all over the place. Very inconsistent as far as trying to appease what had come before or tap into that same energy. Tim feels like the most Robin character. DJ Jason and Damian want to move past Robin, but Tim is fine with it. Damian, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Damian wants right now. I think he's still too young. I think Damian taking up the Nightwing mantle ultimately would be better than him becoming Batman. I think the Damian Dick Grayson relationship is way cooler than a Damian and Bruce relationship, because it maintains the adopted father motif that Batman is fundamentally kind of about. Post-Crisis Superman's the GOAT. What else is there to say? That motherfucker's the GOAT. Has Damian aged much? He actually has aged weirdly, like considerably, compared to other characters, because in the latest issues they say that it's been 2 years since Alfred died, which is, you know, usually like something from 20 years ago is referred to as like, oh, that was a few years ago in comics, but 2 years ago is pretty close to like real time. So Damian is probably like 16. It's just pretty crazy. He's at least 15. So he got candles for his 15th birthday, I believe. Damian Wayne birthday cake. Okay, no, he got his 13th birthday cake, and that was in like probably 20. I guess that's in 2016. So he aged at least 2 years since then, because he's in high school. And you know, he's probably 16. I think we do know that he turned 14 at some point. I think he was officially 14. And so if it's been 2 years since then yeah. Favorite Nightwing variant cover? I don't know. My favorite Nightwing cover, period. Let me see if I can recall it off the top of my head. I want to say it's in like the 80s. Maybe I'm stupid. Yeah. Let me see. It's collected in the Lost Year. Nightwing 133. What did I type earlier? I looked up Nightwing. I was right. Hold on. Okay, I typed in 113. It's 133. Nightwing number 133 from it's like technically volume 2, because for some stupid reason they consider Nightwing's like mini series to be his volume 1. But yeah, Nightwing volume 2 number 133 is my favorite. It's like it's probably my favorite comic cover ever, to be honest. It's a Nightwing sitting in like a window with 2 reflections on his side, like either side, and it's Robin in one and like 90s Nightwing in the other. Tim is like 18 at least. He's probably like 19. He might be 20, to be honest, because he was getting ready to go to college in Rebirth. Has anyone been reading Green Lantern? What's going on with that shit? I just want to know what's if Kyle's cool or not. I know that he's probably going to become a White Lantern again, but is the like current thing like anyone can become any color if you just fixate on it? Is that like the thing now? Because Sinestro's a Red Lantern, and that is strange. Which Black Lantern orphan boy would Bruce be most likely to adopt as Robin in another fictional universe? Sasuke, Zuko, Kevin 11? I feel like Zuko would make the most appropriate Robin. I feel like he's honestly like not too dissimilar to a Dick Grayson character. He suffered a tragedy at a young age. Kind of went dark there for a minute. And due to an old and wizened mentor, he eventually buried his lust for revenge. Sasuke, though, would be just he's too far. He's damaged goods like Jason. They actually did a recent, first issue of... It's the same writer who killed Jason writing If He Had Lived. And pretty much what happens is Jason is just completely... Because his mom still died and Joker still beat him, he just survived the bomb explosion. That's the only difference, is Jason survived the explosion. So he's still like completely fucked in the head. And like Dick Grayson tries talking to him to like, just be his big brother. And the narrator's like, they didn't do shit. It just didn't affect them. He's still fucked. So I feel like it's similar with Sasuke. Sasuke is just too, especially if it's similar, like his whole clan got wiped out or something beforehand. By like his brother. I don't know enough about Naruto. I think that's right? If that happens, and it's still the same like Sasuke character, he's still the same like instincts and predilection for vengeance, I think it would be too great for Batman to contend with, really. I think Sasuke would just use Batman's training to kill people, same as like Red Hood. Kevin's main thing is he's like actually just mentally ill. Like in Omniverse, the fucking, what is it? Something Wyatt, right? One of the show staff was like, yeah, he does become Kevin 11,000, and Ben and Gwen have to like fight him like multiple times. Like he just keeps regressing kind of, or just snapping into another persona. So Dick has, I mean, that was the first kind of adventure of Robin, was Batman helped him find Tony Zuko, and in Dark Victory, which is the definitive like tale for that, in my opinion, Dick catches up to Tony Zuko, catches him, and then Zuko has a heart attack and dies. And so Robin kind of like has that bittersweet realization that it didn't make him feel any better, and helping people is what has to drive him. NA55, if the YouTube donation thing's not working, you can use my Cash App. You could donate to that if you have Cash App. But yeah, more fusions would be cool. I think more DBZ isms in DC is always appreciated. I like that John can just go Super Saiyan Blue. I know it's like Electric Blue Superman, but come on. He's going Super Saiyan Blue. I think that shit's cool. John Kent is canonically a fan of DBZ and Naruto. He's got like posters for those bitches in his room. I don't know if he has a better grip on it because the Ken 10 episodes still happen. Like they have to shove his ass in an Ovalid. I have Venmo, but it's like, you know, it's not a crisis Venmo. It's like my actual Venmo, but you could just donate the next stream. Bro, Biden called someone a completely different person. He called him Putin. What the fuck? That's Omega level Bizarro. That's completely freakish. Damn. People are turning on the boys, man. It's a good thing Jack Quaid's on Superman because people are turning on the boys. Zuko Robin now. I don't think he'd be a terrible Robin. Mortal Kombat should be. We know Injustice is in the Injustice is in the DC multiverse, and there are MK characters in Injustice, so it should be connected by that. I don't know if like a Mortal Kombat character specifically shown up in a DC book, but yeah, Goatwing will be the leader, and I am excited. I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited to see the that conversation happen in the comics. I want to see everybody like take a knee for Nightwing, bruh. Just bow in reverence. That's honestly what I want. I haven't seen the boys yet. I heard it was good. This new season is the 4th season, and it seems like pretty much everybody is fucking turning on it. Like, just no one's really fucking with it. Kind of sad. Kind of flipping sad. Do you want the Batman to exist in James Gunn's DCU? Here's what I'm hoping for. In the Batman, we get Dick Grayson Robin. Right? We get Robert Pattinson in Haley Circus. He adopts Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson becomes Robin. I don't foresee it ever ending with him being Nightwing. Yeah, I just don't think. I think, at best you get the last shot being Batman and Robin, Pattinson and, whoever is young Ward responding to a crime. And that's that. That's like the last thing that happens in the Pattinson universe. And then in the Batman, I want a current comic status quo Bat family. They're all established. They've had their origins happen. And it's like picking up a comic, like currently. Yeah, I think Wonder Woman will carry. I think obviously Superman is probably the least efficient with no powers out of the Trinity. What do y'all think? Would y'all want them to just retire the Trinity and just pass it on? Just pass that shit over. If it was Nightwing, uh, Donna Troy, and maybe Supergirl or John, let's say, would y'all want them to just pass it over? Whether or not you think it will happen, I want to know what y'all want. What's up, Lando? Okay, well, what if Nightwing became Batman again and John Kent is Superman? So the iconism is not lost. At least, like, you know, in a practical sense. I think Wally would fit in as a Trinity member. I'm not talking about. I'm ignoring. Let's just say you can control DC editorial until the end of time. What would you want to be the case? Would there not? If you decide it, Batman does not have to come back. Bruce Wayne can be gone for good. And then maybe those like other you can read fucking Absolute Batman and get a Bruce Wayne story. But main timeline, you can have it. You can do anything in this hypothetical that I'm posing. Or maybe like Damian becomes Batman, but Damian's just not in the Trinity. It's just Nightwing. So there is still a Batman. You can still put him on covers and shit. But he's not. He's just not in the Trinity. Okay. Well, chat, I've been going for over 2 hours. This has been a crazy stream. I fuck with it. I appreciate all y'all. And I'm impressed, equally impressed, the fact that I'm leaving the stream with 40 viewers. That's insane. But I do have to get some actual editing work done here. So thanks everybody for stopping by. Thanks all the donos and the memberships and all that, man. I appreciate y'all. And I will see you all next time.